Good night to Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott, here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. It's now 17 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Good night to all of you joining us via the YouTube. Good night to all of you joining us via the Facebook. I didn't really want to interfere with that song, you know, yeah. I'd say a special good night to our listeners via Noise Radio, One Soca Radio. Good night to you, Wade. Yeah, I know we are off to a late start tonight, yeah? For those who know, you know, yeah. It's rough these days, boy. What it rough. Yes, indeed, folks. And as I said, we're saying a special good night to all of you joining us via the YouTube, all of you joining us via the Facebook. Hope that you all have been having a wonderful day today. You know, you're going down into the later part of the year, and all you know what that does mean, eh? Yeah, that does mean things like parang and all them kind of thing. Yes, we're going, watch now. Or you could take one more song before, I mean, yeah, it's already kind of late already, but I feel all you could take one more song. Yeah, no, this one is not a gospel. No. But I think I'll could take one more before we go further, man. Yeah. Let me touch one.
not me what's it so south side. They play in the backside. I got nothing to hide, cause in the backside. For that one already feeling shame. AJ William free to claim name. Jenny Simon said on Simon say Cliff Project take a big bribery. 100,000 in the hand, 15,000 to fix the van. Some people said the man guilty, said he study in the constituency south side. They say he's no punk side. Yes, we on the outside, and they say it's that. But not me what's it so south side. They play in the backside. I got nothing to hide, cause in the backside.
You know why I'm playing the rest of that song tonight, yeah? Folks, you can call 147-344-07377. That's the number for you to call and get on to the inside of tonight's program. Yeah, and we've got quite a lot to speak about. Yeah, quite a lot. I'm not playing the rest of that song tonight, no. I ain't care what you say. I'm not. I am not. Yes, indeed. Yeah, and folks, as you all may see, I've put up as part of the thing, eh? Let me say good night to the folks out there in Cloget. And folks may say, oh, Cloget again. No. I have to speak about Cloget because the people of Cloget are still in a tenuous situation. That if we get a lot of rain and we realize it's November, sometime we just get a lot of rain coming through now. Yeah, the hurricanes and them just kind of ease up, but we just get some last set of rain. You all noticed that for the last few Novembers, when Queen's Park and thing was flooding during November, you know, that's when we've been getting some of that kind of weather and thing coming through. So it means as well that the people in Cloget, with the project that the people disappear from, that they say government run out of money, that they are facing a very serious situation there. Because once the rain start to fall, is problem. Yeah? Once the rain start to fall for the people out there in Cloget, is problems. The people in Carriacou and Petit Martinique who are feeling forgotten. Imagine I was speaking to someone today. You all start building the house for them. They got the material. They had a team of people building the house for them and the people disappear. But guess since when? Since June. Since June, the team of people that was, remember we in November right now, you know. So since June, you're building a house for somebody. The program come and it close. And the people who was building the house disappear. But you see them grinning like Cheshire all over the place. Sorry, not Cheshire. Cheshire. All over the place. Now, me and studying about who talking about cat. There's only the only. Anyhow. But you see them grinning all over the place. And you ask yourself, what is taking place with the people out there in Carriacou and Petit Martinique? You have to ask yourself what is taking place with the people out there in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Some of us forget them. I ain't forgetting them. And I could never forget them because I am them and they are me. Yeah? I am them and they are me. So I cannot forget them. I cannot forget the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique because we carrying the same blood. Many people don't care because they in our family there. It's not their aunt and them house that mash up. It's not their uncle that lose the business. It's not their cousin and them that lose everything that they had. It's not their family, but it's my family. And I'll continue to speak on behalf of the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Don't let anybody come and make you feel that everything is all well and good in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. It is not. All is not well with their soul. Still having problems in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. The people there are still having problems. And while they're having problems, their MP running. Where the MP going? Let me see. I should be able to pull it up here. The MP. Yeah, he gone again. I like that he gone there. Yeah, you're gone. That means they're losing for sure. Yeah? So the Carriacou MP gone up on the platform of the ULP. Nothing wrong with that. You're going up there. But you see the hypocrisy of these people. Ralph Gonsalves is into his sixth term? Sixth term as Prime Minister out there in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Ralph Gonsalves is elderly. And unlike Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, who is, does exercise and he fit and them kind of thing, Ralph Gonsalves, no. The comrade, no. Yeah? But the same people who telling you in Grenada, Dr. Mitchell ain't good for Grenada, is the same people that go in St. Vincent and tell you Ralph Gonsalves is good for St. Vincent. The same people. This same one here, this guy, Mr. Pinky. The same people who been telling you that Dr. Mitchell was there too long have no problem with trying and keep Ralph Gonsalves in office in St. Vincent, who has been in office for 6 terms consecutively. They have no problem with going to keep him in office. But they have a problem when NNP was in office and Dr. Mitchell was the Prime Minister. Them hypocrite. You have to call it how you see it. Them hypocrite. So he go up endorsing candidate and all kind of thing. Well, sister, is that Siobhan? Think that is a woman? Right. Anytime you see that boy go and endorse, lose, you're going and lose, Lose, you're going and lose. Yeah? That's the same person that was out there saying that all you ain't doing enough in Carriacou, in St. Vincent, because they're doing more than all you in Carriacou and all kind of thing, That same person was using all you as a measuring stick and measuring all you on the lower end of that measuring stick. That one day. Same individual. Yeah? So when it's their country, they have a problem. But when it's other people's country, they're leaving theirs and go there to endorse the same thing that they're saying should not exist in their country. All you see the hypocrisy. You all understand the type of individuals that we're dealing with. Meanwhile, a mother with children, they know who I'm talking about, may have to come here and lie. They have never once been able. How much years have been doing programs? Talking Points would have been on 3 years in 10 days. Somewhere around the 16th would be our anniversary of the Talking Points program. And before that, you all know I used to do Hard Talk and Talk Your Talk. All you ever hear, I guess, sue because I say something and it wasn't the truth? All you ever hear anybody even threaten to sue because I say something and it wasn't the truth? So let them challenge me and say that what I'm saying tonight about the young lady in Bogles who is living in a tent, whose children are living in the tent, who you all started their house in June, and up to now you all abandoned the house and gone about your business. And there are many other people in similar situations. But you all want us to talk about that. Yeah? You all want us to talk about that. So you're trying to sidetrack from the issues. Because you all don't want us to be speaking about these sort of things. You know what? Let me see if I could find somebody tonight here. I think I'm in that kind of mood. Let me see if I could find a brethren of mine. Let me see if I could find him there. Yeah, let me see if I could find a brethren of mine. You know, when I'm in them kind of mood, sometimes I just have to call up our brethren. So let me see if I could get a brethren on the line with me tonight. Yeah, trying to see if I get a brethren there. And once I get our brethren, I want to talk certain things. So let me see if I could find our brethren. Now I'm playing the parang later on. Yeah? What the parang for? Good night to you, Senator, the Honorable Nolan Cox. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. And you, how are you?
I'm good, man. You're live on the program. Let me tell you, you're live on the program.
Well, where's my manners? Let me say pleasant good night to your viewers, your listeners, and everybody who is part of the Talking Point family.
And Brother Cox, we have not got an update from you for a little while in relation to the islands, my home islands of Carriacou, and people feel like Trinidadian. I'm okay, than Trinidadian. My home isles of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. What is the update? What is taking place on the islands in relation to the recovery, etc.?
Well, I think, Sheldon, recovery, we really have to commend our brothers and sisters in Carriacou and Petit Martinique for the continued resilience with whatever challenges that we have facing us. Persons continue to find the strength to move on, to recover as best as they can. It is what we call the new normal for Carriacouans and Petit Martiniquans. It has been a tough adjustment, and persons have been trying to do their best despite some of the challenges that they have. Some of it which could be avoided, and some of it which obviously is out of the control. But in terms of what continues to be a consistent issue or challenge for Carriacouans and housing continues to remain the top issue for persons. Just today somebody was asking me about television, about watching TV. So I said, look, I lost my televisions in Barris. They said, replacing it? I said, no, I haven't replaced them yet. They said, no. I said, no, because I know that there are persons who don't even have a home, and I don't have a television. So, there is no urge for me to rush to do that, because, taking into account what somebody losses, a television is minor in the scheme of things. And so that is the constant stories that you're hearing, that persons are still trying to recover as best as possible. And one of the things I must say, a number of Carriacouans, through their own effort and some with the assistance of government, have been able to at least cover back their houses, while inside still remains uncomfortable for them. But at least some of them are covered. But there are still persons who are under tents. There are still persons who have to be sweeping water when rainfall. So it's still a challenging situation for many persons. My contention have always been one that is surrounded what criteria that was used to apply the support that we received from the CARE funding of over $100 million. And we still continue to ask, how you arrive at assisting this person over that person. And the persons who had a home lost their home, while persons who never had a home get a home before them, a complete house before persons who had a home. So
I have been hearing people that had no house at all get house. Meanwhile,
yes,
people that had a home and in a bad way can't get.
And mind you, Sheldon, I don't have a problem with somebody wanting to get a home who never had a home. And that is not the issue. And I want to state it categorically that is not something that I am against or the party is against. Yeah? What we are saying is that, what criteria do you use? How do you arrive at assisting that person before that person? Or not, at least not giving no assistance whatsoever to a person who lost their home, as against giving somebody a brand new house, in some cases furnished, while somebody who had a home and have kids never, they don't stand a chance to get one. And so we are very much confused, very much disappointed by that approach. And it seems to be one that is channeled heavy along party lines, unfortunately. In a disaster, those are things that you don't want to happen. That's the last thing that you want to see in a disaster, where persons are marginalized for political preferences. And so that seems to be out of the day. That seems to be the policy and the modus operandi of the rep. And it's something that we are very saddened about that. It's a sad situation. But we are very optimistic. We are very hopeful that even as a party and myself, my team, we continue to help wherever we can. Last Friday, an opportunity to go on the 31st to have the opening of a shop in Belmont, which we were able to partake in getting that shop back up and running. And so we're happy to see small businesses get back up because that is the livelihood. Things have been pretty slow from an economic standpoint, not just in Carriacou alone, but in the country as a whole. So it has been a tough time for everybody. And so we continue to stress and ask that persons who can help wherever they can continue to do so, continue to give the support, whatever little they can give. There is still persons who are in need of support from each other. And so that is our motto. That's what we have been striving to do. People have been reaching out to me on a daily basis to see how we can help them in terms of building back and getting up from the ground. And we are excited about that. I feel truly satisfactory and truly satisfied knowing that I'm in this public space being given an opportunity to help people to get off the ground. And that is what excites me. And that is one of the reasons why I have been a public servant for more than 20 plus years. And of course, and that is why I am excited and feel confident about offering myself to be the next representative for Carriacou and Petit Martinique, because I believe that empathy and having that compassion for people is one that truly stands out, and it is needed at this point in time. And there is a season for certain things, but right now the season clearly calls for reaching out and helping people to get off the ground in a selfless way.
No,
and so that is what we're trying right now.
Brother Cox, one of the things that tends to happen is that we hear about Carriacou and we don't hear much about Petit Martinique. What is the situation on the ground in Petit Martinique? Is it still a situation that we have many people living in tents? And also, there's a further question I'll ask you about Petit Martinique after I deal with that particular one. But what is the present situation in Petit Martinique as obtains to build back better homes and the situation with folks there?
Well, if you could recall, Sheldon, I think we had several discussions about Petit Martinique in terms of the non-action out there. What I do recall, last they had allocated, I think, 5 build back better houses, and that remains the same. I'm not certain if all have been handed over. I stand corrected, but I know some was handed over, but that's just it. And it continues to remain a serious issue for Petit Martiniquans. Sometimes, just thinking about the challenges of Petit Martiniquans, and I have been doing some work in the background, speaking with key persons in terms of how to resolve some of the challenges that currently exist in Petit Martinique, and we are working. I just want people of Petit Martinique know that we are working to help resolve those issues that you have. We may not be speaking about it as yet, but I can tell you that we are doing the necessary background work to come up with substantive solutions to address them, because there are some long-standing chronic issues in Petit Martinique that I feel confident that I can address. That I can resolve, and so we'll hear more about that going forward. But one of the key challenges continue to remain is that almost more than 2 years now, but certainly more than a year, we have heard that a contract have been issued to some company to build a jetty in Windward that would help facilitate a better travel and more comfortable travel for Petit Martiniquans to and from Carriacou. I think the last announcement came indicating that work will start in October. I think I've yet to see anything substantive, anything taking place.
They didn't say which October, eh? Maybe that's the point.
So,
maybe it's next October.
And it's not an issue of calling out, but it's just I'm just stating what was said.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes when you raise those things, people tend to believe that you're being negative. It's not about being negative. I'm only stating what the situation is, and the reason why I believe it is so important is because it is really impacting persons in a negative way. And so, since the passage of the hurricane, Peter Malicans have been coping with this uncomfortable situation. And I believe that Peter Malicans as well as Carriacouans welcome a new facility. But there have not been clear transparency on what uh, this whole process is about. It is clear that it is a project that was handed to somebody because I can't recall any public tender. We haven't heard anything about the cost, what the project will cost. Um, not even the duration, how long it will take for it to complete.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are some of the standard things that you would hear in a project of that nature. You're not hearing those. So we trust and hope another budget is about to come.
No proper procurement process.
No,
Okay.
I'm quite from my recollection that has not happened. Um, that has not happened. I stand corrected, Sheldon. You know me. I stand by
Mm-hmm.
that. But from all investigation, all accounts, no procurement procedure for a project of that significant nature. Um, I could see if you say that you give it to somebody because it's something urgent and you expect them to start in the next month or two after the hurricane, that's fine. But we're going on almost 2 years now, and that is not the case. So every project have a cycle, and so um, there are some cycles you just can't leave out. You have to follow them, and so we are very much concerned about this project and what is happening. We don't believe that we have been given truthful information about the nature of this project, and so we are hoping that some clarity would come to the fore as regards to this jetty in the Windward. And Sheila, as we are thematic again, the issue regarding our seafood ban still.
That was the second question I was coming with. But go
Well,
right
you didn't
ahead.
have to ask that because for me, that is an issue that is frontal in terms of how we can work with our fishermen to see how we can minimize the impact. It is clear that I am feeling a bit agitated that this ban will come into effect come January. I haven't seen any substantive movement on the government side in terms of resolving this issue. Um, I was hoping with a slim chance that at least some inroads could have been made between the time of the announcement and December. But from what I'm hearing is that it doesn't matter whatever work that we do on our end, we have to reapply, and reapplication. There is a process for reapplication. So that is what I'm hearing. I stand corrected if that's not clear. But from my investigation and discussions with other persons, key people, that is what is going to take place. That come January will cease, and then we will have to reapply, meeting those terms and conditions. So that is the challenge for us. I am very hopeful that our fishermen can find some alternative means and how they can apply their trade and maybe find some way to diversify their business so that they could continue to provide a livelihood for themselves and their family. I think that is one of the things that I really thought that a great opportunity that the government had to work with the fishermen during this period while they wait for resumption of exportation,
Mm-hmm.
provide some alternative approaches for persons who may have mortgages. Maybe they can help them to work with the lending agencies in terms of maybe a moratorium or some approach in terms of helping them to deal with meeting their financial commitments, and that is what government is about. Government is not just doing things for people, but it's creating an environment that is trying to help your people to progress in whatever trade that they apply, or whatever things that they're working on, and that is what government functions. That's how it functions, and that's what they seek to do as government, to help your people succeed in every aspect. So this situation continues to fester. I am very much disappointed that we no engagement on the Pitimatnik side, or even Carriacou. I think no meeting was held, Carriacou and Pitimatnik in particular. There were meetings, consultations on the mainland, but we haven't heard. There is no comfort, no guidance, no guidelines for the fishermen as to what happens from here going forward. So I think that is where the mischief lies, is that persons are quite uncertain as to the next course of action going forward. I have had discussions with key persons within the fishing sector as to what are the key challenges, what are the things that we need to correct. We have started as a party to have those discussions with persons in the international community. I can say that we continue to have those discussions, and we are doing that in light that there is a strong possibility and likelihood that we may form the next government. So if that problem persists, that we can quickly jump and fix it and have our export of seafood resume as in the shortest time possible. So we are basically preparing in that regard. That is what we are doing right now. So we have had an initial meeting, which is a very good one, looking at some of the issues, some of the things that we have to do, some of the timelines in terms of how we can have them addressed. So Sheldon, that is where we are, and we are really empathizing with the fishing community. It's going to be a challenging time for us, and not only that, for the country as well, in terms of revenue from the exportation of those fish products. That is going to be, just going to be
talking in the millions here, tens of millions.
Millions, yes. I think it's about $30 million annually. That is what the figures estimate. So,
Brother Cox, I think there may be people that are listening here that are unfamiliar with Pitimatnik and unfamiliar with Carriacou, and they really don't realize the economy of Pitimatnik is that long line fishing, that the tuna boats that go. That's the economy. There's no other major thing to speak about. That's the major economic.
By way of guesstimate, I'm comfortably more than 80% of the longliners are owned by Pitimatnik. So that says it all. They are the ones that are going to be impacted significantly from this development, and that is how they make their living, through fishing and trade. That has been their life, and so it's going to be challenging. It's going to be challenging, but I think if we put our heads together, we have the necessary discussions and start looking at that alternative approaches, alternative opportunities. I think that something can be done, and so that is what we are hoping for. That some form of leadership will take place during this period to bring some comfort to the fishermen as we go into the Christmas season. But we have yet to see that happening. I believe that the government is working, from the last conversation that I had with the minister, that they are working to have it resolved as quickly as possible. But we haven't had any recent updates, so we're not certain as to where we are on that issue. Yeah.
So right now, that's the situation with the economy of Pitimatnik, and I know there are families. We speak about the tuna, but I know of families in Pitimatnik that also deal with lobster, and they go out and they get the lobster and they sell the lobster to other exporters and different things like that. So it's the tuna is one, the lobster is the next one, and they are not going to be able to send any of that to the United States. and the local market will not be able to absorb all of the catch that they are getting. And we know that the options for them are very limited. So I'm glad that you've put on the table that government should indeed engage them. Yes, some of these people have mortgages. Some of these people, they still owe for the boat that they're using. And you're just talking about people who had their homes destroyed, whose boats were damaged in many instances. Most instances, their boats were damaged, and now have to be facing the fact that when you're thinking that, hey, I have a 2-3 years, I could build myself back up. Now, come the 1st of January, your source of income, your major source of income, is going to be cut out from under you. And simply due to the incompetence of the present administration. They were warned.
Well, yeah, and Sheldon, as you mentioned that, and I could just dive right into that long-standing issue. There are a number of bona fide fishermen who been fishing for years, and they have not received any support. Some of them, their boat is still on the ground, in a state of disrepair, and they are taking a boat with another boat going out. And what is more disheartening is that they standing and seeing persons receiving new boat and engine, compliments the government of Grenada, who were never fishermen before. This is really, really, really unfair. So somebody who has never been fishing before, nothing whatsoever, they got a new boat, engine, support, and somebody whose boat is on the beach in the ruins, who have been a registered fisherman and has been doing that for their livelihood. So it's really troubling. It's really troubling to see all this, this significant unfairness that has been meted out to persons who don't deserve that. No. Why are you approaching persons who are making their livelihood? That is what they do. You are approaching them and treating them with a political tool, with a political brush. You just can't do that. Those people, they don't have anything to do with politics on a daily basis. What they know is that they get up in the morning, by 4-5 o'clock they get up and they go out to make a livelihood. Mm-hmm. They don't walk around and go by and go around and preach politics. Why are those persons being targeted and treated in that manner? And that is the hurtful part of this. I've been an agricultural instructor. I've worked serving farmers, and at times when I hold on for the fisheries officer, I serve fishermen as well. And not at any point in time I have this inclination that I should treat somebody differently because of their political preference. I have served in many capacities in this country. And you could ask anybody. There is no benefit. We are Carriacouans. That is all people. That is my people. That is your people. Why are you treating them like that? Mm-hmm. I just don't get it. To me, it
seems as though some people could dead and only their friends and who they think go vote for them could live. That seems to be. I could say that. You can't say that, but that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, even talk about the farmers. A lot of farmers have not really received any support. Even some of the largest farmers on the island, just because of the perceived political preference. How you expect agriculture to grow? How you expect agriculture to develop and to resume to where it was before? When you have persons who are not just invested financially, but they're invested in terms of passion for farming. That is what they love to do. They wake up, they eat, breathe, sleep agriculture production, but yet you're deliberately marginalizing those persons. Mm-hmm. Yeah, So I those are the things that I detest strongly, and I believe that we have a responsibility as Carriacouans to deal with that. And Sheldon, we another day we'll have a conversation about youth, because it is a serious challenge for our young people in terms of where do we go from here. And you know, Sheldon, we had spoken about, just to segue back into housing. I don't understand why you continue to put houses in front of the sanitary landfill. I don't know. Something probably I just don't understand. You know, so it's
Maybe
it is very
maybe they're trying to send a message to the people that they want to go over there. Because
well,
I cannot understand the sense in it. Listen, as a child, I grew up in an area that was near to a landfill. I'm ashamed to say that. As a child in Trinidad, I grew up for the early part of my life near to a landfill. It is not something that anybody should want to do. It is not something that anybody should want to do or want to place another human being in a situation like that. I can speak from personal experience. I know for other people, I can speak from personal experience.
it is a sad development. It's a sad development. And you know, Sheldon, you know, one thing I know about Carriacouans, we are grateful, and I'm quite certain they are grateful for whatever support that persons who have received from government. I'm quite certain about that. And there might be persons who might be hoping, who will waiting, who have not received. They are waiting and hoping that they do get the support. But you cannot treat people in that manner, all because of how you feel and how you think. I mean, could you imagine a young lady who were agreed upon to give her some support to rebuild her house? I think she had made some statements in the midst of colleagues or whatsoever, and somebody, I think they say, recorded her and go back to the rep with what she said, indicating that, you know, that she's solidly a NMP supporter. And you know what happened? They sent a truck and take back all the materials. Yeah, all the materials.
But you see,
and
the thing is, Brother Cox, you mention it, but these people need to speak out. Do a video when they're taking the material. Do what you have to do and show the rest of the nation the type of individuals we're dealing with, because as far as they are concerned, they're in charge, and it seems like they believe they will be in charge forever. But the Almighty have other things in store. But they believe that they will be in charge forever, so they're treating people however they feel like it. Again, I spoke to a young lady today, and this young lady, they were working on the place for her since in June. The workmen left and have never returned. Today is the 6th of November. They never returned. So maybe they have her branded. Maybe that's the problem. They have her branded, so they decide, no, well, we give her the material and just forget her.
It's possible. You know, and there's another long-standing business owner whose business was damaged in the hurricane. So he said he started doing some repairs, and then the GDB came to Carriacou, and they came to his place. They said, look, you know, if you fix the place, you wouldn't be able to recoup the money back through our financing scheme. So he stopped all work, and you get all the necessary documents, everything that is required. He made several trips, and he brought in everything. He was written a letter indicating that his loan has been approved. He was called and said, look, well, we're ready for disbursement. When he went in for disbursement, they told him that everything was pulled back. The loan was cancelled. I mean, could you imagine? The gentleman was waiting for months. I mean, how disappointing that could be. And no valid reason was given, for cancelling the loan. I mean,
meanwhile, other men could walk off for 3 million, innit? Okay, yeah. Meanwhile, other men could walk off for 3 million.
Sad.
Or 2 million, or how much it is.
Sad. You know, this is sad. And those are the stories that really, just get me. You know, it's really, really sad to hear those things, knowing that we have a facility, persons who is creating employment. He employs people. I mean, everybody knows that is what he does, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, probably close to criminal. I think. I mean, for want of a better way to describe it, I mean, why you really do that to somebody? They're already down and out. They're already struggling. Persons are using the last bit of resources that they have saved. They're getting help from family members or persons in the diaspora who's selling to help, and you're still adding further burden onto them when you have an opportunity to help them out of the mess that they're in. I mean, we are all in it together. Each and every one of us are struggling in this. There's some a little ahead of others, but everybody is feeling it. And I think it clearly shows the lack of leadership, competent leadership in terms of bringing a nation together, bringing people together in times of crisis, where persons can work together for us to come out from this tragedy, this natural tragedy that we went through in terms of the hurricane. And so that is what true leadership is about. You're supposed to help inspire people, not distress people for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is not what we expect. But we seem like that is the order of the day.
No, indeed.
So that is the play.
But Brother Cox, I know many of the listeners, they're messaging there, and I'd like to apologize to the folks that were listening via Facebook. I have no idea what happened. It just cut off, and I've been unable to get back on Facebook, but we're on YouTube. So I just like to apologize to the Facebook folks. Brother Cox, I know this is very difficult for some folks to listen to. Especially those of us who have relatives in Carriacou and in Petit Martinique, and knowing what you all are going through in these islands. Meanwhile, the impression that's being given is that so much is going on in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and look, they're handing out houses left, right, and center. But the reality on the ground is totally different to what the seeming reality is on social media. There are many people in a bad way in Carriacou and in Petit Martinique, and especially with the fishing ban coming, which is basically, I mean, I don't know how Petit Martinique is going to survive that, because after you lose the market, because remember, you can no longer send. It's not like the Americans are going to sit down there and say, well, we're waiting for Grenadians to sort themselves out to start sending fish again. They are going to go to wherever else could send fish to them, and you're not guaranteed of getting the market back. So if a company in the US is accustomed to getting, let's say 20,000 pounds of tuna out of Grenada through Petit Martinique, if they're accustomed to getting that, that means that they have people that are waiting, restaurants that are waiting, homes that are waiting for that. And they are going to go to whoever they have to go to get it. They ain't care about Grenada to say, well, we're waiting on Grenada and people could stay without the fish for the next so much months while Grenada sort themselves out. They are going to find other markets, other suppliers. And when they find other suppliers, the problem is, even if Grenada gets back on track, if they'll be able to get back into the market. So it's a much bigger problem than I think some folks are looking at it as just, okay, they ban us, we go do what we have to do, and then we're going to start to send fish again. No, these companies are not going to sit there and wait for lobster out of Grenada. They're not going to wait for lambi or tuna out of Grenada. They'll find other suppliers, whichever other island or country could supply it, and get it in. And we better hope that the price is a little higher than what we were selling it for, so that they would want us back on track. Other than that, if they sell it at a lower price, we do them.
Yeah, correct. But I think, Sheldon, the whole issue of housing, and that's me. I've always been clear. And from my communication with persons, I have went and helped persons who physically went and do work to help persons who would have received support from government. Persons who receive big-back houses, I went and helped wherever I can. And so I just want to make it clear that it is not an issue. That is not our issue. That is not my issue. Because if government is helping, and then we can complement that to help that person to get off the ground quickly. That is what we've been doing. But I know, Sheldon, we talk about that. I just I can't confirm, but somebody came to me and said that they were told that the government was telling them that the Carriacou folks were telling the persons who they give material not to allow us to come and help them to deal with labor. I mean, I just couldn't believe that you would go to that distance. Yeah? Telling somebody to deny free labor to get a house off the ground. Yeah?
Nonsense.
Because
nonsense, my brother.
I mean, could you believe it? Yeah, so those are some of the things that we have to contend with. So, one, you hear persons, the pundits will come out and chastise me. Oh, what Cox doing? What Cox didn't help Bill? What Cox doing? When you go on Bill, they tell you don't help. If you get material from us, don't let Cox come and help. So, what is it that you want me to do? You know, do you want me to help or you don't want me to help? So, I think they have to decide. But I want to reiterate, Sheldon, persons must be aware and must be made known that persons who are in government are facilitators of the public purse. Yeah, and so whatever support that you receive, those are contributions from taxpayers, everybody in the country who contribute to our tax revenue. And so those support are from our contribution. And I know the persons are very grateful for those support. They have expressed that to me in more than once, that they are happy for whatever support that they were able to receive from government. In some cases, why be it not enough, but they are grateful for whatever support that they got. But I don't think that is the issue, and the core issue centers around how it is being handled, how it's been dispersed. I mean, no clear criteria. You know, why one person, why two persons who have similar issues or conditions? Why is this person getting as against that person? Clearly, there might be some issue in terms of the amount of resources, whether or not everybody could get. But that is not the case. In recent time, they have been calling people quietly and giving out materials. We know that for a fact. We Carriacou is a very small place. So they have not announced the material open back up, but they have been calling selective people and issuing material support to them. That we know for a fact. And so they have been doing all sorts of stuff. But this is not right.
Brother
this is
Cox,
not right.
There are one or two things I want to speak to you about again. And I don't like to take you out of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, but I will have to pull you out of Carriacou and Petit Martinique on this one. The Cliff Road project continues to be of significant inconvenience to the people who utilize that route.
Yes.
We don't know what's taking place with it. It seems as though the project, I know, I can't tell you what is the latest on that project right now. And also the Closure project. You are former Minister of Works. And the Closure project, that apparently the contractors disappear from. We're hearing stories that the contractor has not been paid, so they pull the people and they're gone on something else. But it leaves the people of Closure with an incomplete project.
Well, I think both projects are basically, from my understanding, are impacted basically for the same reason. But sometimes it's important to understand what the project actually constitutes in terms of what the project details are, to know what challenges that they might be having. Because when I've been recently, I look at the Cliff project and some of the work spill over to a lot of drainage in terms of ensuring that the water is drained properly and things like that. So what I don't know if those works were initially part of the project, because the project was just to widen and do the roads, or those works that are there are additional works, amendments to the contract.
Well, I
But
could
from
confirm to you that there were amendments to the contract because the contractor said so.
okay,
That when they started, they
right,
met these challenges.
right, right, and so projects are dynamics, and you would find those things. And if you want a quality finished product, sometimes you do have to make amendments to the project to ensure that you have a good final product. Now, what you find happening in a project of this nature, once you have those changes taking place, from what I'm hearing, the issue is government meeting the payments, timely payments to both contractors, both Closure and the Cliff, and hence the reason why even other projects around the island continue to suffer in terms of implementation, and in some cases completion. They are not being completed because of monies that have been paid, claims are not being paid. In the case of the Cliff, I know that the contractor is an experienced contractor, and I know the contractor do have other projects. So he may have capacity, financial capacity, probably would have financial capacity to take the project as far as it is right now to continue to have it going. Because if you don't, if you're not spending money, if money is not being spent, the project will basically stop, because you have to pay service providers, persons who pour in the concrete and things like that. You need to pay those people. So that I'm noticed. So what would have happened in Closure is that the contractor decided not to probably put in any more of his monies there, and probably decide to go to another project where he can get some revenue or income, or just totally stop so that he would not be bleeding any revenue. Mm-hmm. So that is the core issue. The core issue is timely payments for work being done, and so that is affecting the implementation of those two projects in particular, and many of the other projects around the country. That has seemed to be the challenge.
We even realize that the bushing isn't taking place to the level that we knew before, which provided some opportunity for some persons who otherwise may have remained unemployed or didn't have that opportunity to provide for themselves. That and all is not taking place to the level that it was taking place under the new National Party, and no alternative. It's not that isn't taking place and an alternative has been put in place for these folks. It is just that it's not taking place to that level again.
But it is not surprising that is what is happening. It is a clear policy of this government and supporters of this government. In their mind, the bushing is a waste of revenue. It is not necessary. And so if you don't see them invest in it, it's not a surprise. Because they, in some instances, feel that it was not a good policy by the National Party to have persons being able to keep our roads pristine, at the same time being able to get some gainly revenue to supplement their livelihood. Like in a case like we used to synchronize those work, like for example with Christmas. We used to synchronize it with back to school in particular, so that families in that strata, that financial income strata, can get some additional monies to help support their families for those specific initiatives. This the policy of this government is that they don't care about that. That is not an issue for them, whether persons have or they don't have. That seem to be not, they're not concerned about that. And so it is not surprising. I think whatever cleaning you see taking place is from the environmental warden program that we would have established, where you have small teams in selective areas to keep the roadways, the drains clean, so that you don't have any challenges from overhangings that may what you might cause accident, or even from blocked drains that will cause significant floodings when we do have heavy downpours. So still what you see taking place, that was part of our policy in having those environmental ones in place. But in terms of having an intensity of that cleanup work, but with a large quantity of gangs for a short period of time, that seems to be not one of the policy of this government. So persons ought not to be surprised about that. And I'm still surprised that they still keep those small teams on the road. Sometimes when you hear people speak about the bushing as if it is the worst thing in the world. I mean, everywhere you go, maintenance of roadway and drains have to be done. You know,
well, now
in all cases,
we're hearing that one of the possibilities is that government broke; they just can't afford it.
Well, it is highly possible. It is highly possible. That's one of the contributing factors. But I do know that a lot of their supporters and the government, well, they spoke about it publicly. It has been ventilated publicly. You know, they are heavily against the bushing. Yeah, so the facts are there.
We're hearing it, and then there's also the situation where there are several people who are working within various government agencies have not been paid for months on end. We heard about teachers, but there are other categories of workers that are having problems in getting their salaries for several months. So there is a serious problem that's taking place with finances with the government, whether they want to admit it or not. And even they're trying to give the impression that the latest IMF report was very glowing of them. I'll get into that one of these nights. It's not. Believe me, it's not glowing. Yeah, they have problems. And we know budget day is coming up. So, Senator Cox, you wanted to add something?
Well, one thing I wanted to chime in on, and there are some key indicators that we just need to pay attention to, and one of them is the lowering of the threshold for the bonds, the sale of bonds, government bonds, and that is a clear indicator that government is trying to raise revenue, desperately trying to raise revenue by lowering the threshold, trying to increase a larger pool of persons to buy up the bonds, whether if it's 90-day bonds or 120-day bonds, whatever bonds the government have on the security exchange market. So sometimes those indicators are ones that may be sold as if you're trying to include persons. So it's something similar in the case of, like, say, if you have like income tax, personal income tax. Once you lower the threshold, you're obviously going to take in a wider bracket of persons. Yeah. And so more persons are going to be impacted, and so in that case, government will be able to attract more revenue. So in the case of the bonds now, by lowering the participation threshold for purchasing the bond from the government, I think it was $500. It means that more persons will be able to. I think it was 5,000. So it moved from 5,000, minimum amount was 5,000. I think it moved now to $500. So that is an indication that government is desperately trying to raise revenue as quickly as possible. Yeah. So there is something taking place there, but as I say, until we see numbers, we see the budget. It's clear that there's a revenue shortfall for the first half, I think, of this year in comparison to last year. There is some significant shortfall in revenue. I think in the first half of first quarter, I stand corrected, but I know some period there was a significant shortfall in revenue. So there are clear indicators that the income that government were able to benefit from last year in comparison to this year is a stark difference.
And we know because from what a little bird has told me, the ruling party is seeking to hold a meeting very soon, and at that meeting they'll announce two main things. One, they're going to give a Christmas bonus, and two, they're going to give a tax-free day. So they're going to have a tax-free day where people could go and buy things without having to pay VAT, etc., and they're going to give a Christmas bonus. But they have to try and scrape all the money together first before they reach to that point. Hence why they float the bond and say they're going to raise about 5 million. I think it's expected that they would raise with that and other things. So that's what a little bird told me. Yeah?
Okay.
A hummingbird. It was real little. So he told me that. Senator Cox, as many folks may have noticed today, there has been a parliament sitting, and yourself and the New National Party team was not at the Senate today. Give us a little insight as to why that happened. Why was the New National Party team not at the parliament sitting today?
Okay, so there are two things, but I'll start first with the party. Yeah, and so our action today stem from in terms of solidarity with our members in the House of Representatives. Remember, we have one opposition and two houses, so the opposition is split between two houses, and so whatever issue that is affecting either a section of the opposition, it runs through the same organization, and so there have been consistent challenges in terms of what agreed processes in terms of how certain things are done in the House of Representatives, and those will continue to be breached in a disrespectful way. And after a lengthy discussion among parliamentarians, and it was decided that, look, we have to stand ground and to show that we are not happy with the continued practice of what is taking place. Those precedents that have been set, those are not in line in what we deem as parliamentary courtesy or what is the norm, and so is along those lines, and together with the standing other requirements, we decided to stand in solidarity with our members in the House of Representatives. So we had made that statement publicly as well. When we did that press release, I think a press release went out on Tuesday morning. So that was clearly stated. So we did in terms of what we did in terms of courtesy and principle is to send a formal notice to the president. So that was done. And additionally, even if we had, we're going to have, if this issue was not on the table, I had some challenges in being available for today's sitting, which I had discussed previously with the president, and we were looking. There were discussions around maybe shifting the sitting to an earlier time or a later time as well. I know that the other members, the independent senators, did have some challenges in meeting today's sitting as well. I mean, they represent the organization, so sometimes they are not in the best position to speak how they feel. But based on our discussions, that they too had challenges of being in terms of readiness for today, because the other paper, I think, only came out maybe last night or whatsoever. So those were some of the issues.
So wait. Let me find out the order paper. But you all had access to the documents a little before.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, we had access to documents before.
But still, any amendments and so that would have been made on Tuesday. Those amendments would have to be made, and then the updated documents would have had to be sent to you all. So there's still, that 48 hours later, basically.
Right. So if there are no substantial changes, no substantive changes, then you can proceed. So I think that is what was being proposed. But I know that some members felt it the time because of the schedule, and so and there were some challenges with some of the documents being missing, and there were no clarity on exactly what we will have to, because sometimes there are some bills, some motions that do not meet the Senate, and there is not a requirement for it to come to the Senate. So sometimes that happens as well. So sometimes there will be some documents that get to the House, but there is not a requirement for the Senate to sit on it as well. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times what takes place in the House of Representatives will determine what takes place in the Senate. Yeah. So So that is what really transpired. So I did initially indicated that I would have some challenge in being available for today's sitting. So that was separate and apart from the decision and action of the opposition. So that came after. Yeah. So I just wanted to clear that up as well
Because
for persons who. Yeah.
there was this sort of thing that was happening at the parliament, a bit of it. I didn't get to watch much of it today, but just a few minutes of it. And to me, it seemed as though the ruling party senators were taken aback and aghast that the New National Party senators were not there. Like they were surprised, acting like they were surprised when they know very well. Because even today's sitting is an example of what the New National Party has been speaking about. The amount of nonsense that took place there procedurally and etc. that took place there today is an example of exactly the point that the New National Party is trying to make. That if you're going to the parliament of the country, do things in the proper way, following the rules. But there's a general lack of respect for institutions, inclusive of the parliament. Hence the way that the government continues to operate.
Well, I don't know why they would be surprised when it was clear that we put a statement out since on Tuesday. Today is Thursday, so I think it was clear. It was clear.
Yes,
that is the case.
Yes, indeed. Senator Cox, I know I'll call you and say, well, we'll talk for a few minutes, but man, we nearly make an hour already. So
You're always tricking me like that, but never. Yeah, never mind.
But I don't know if
it's a pleasure always.
Yes, yeah. I don't know if you have any final words for tonight to the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique and Grenadians on a whole, especially Southside. If you have any words for them tonight.
I will start on the South Side. I mean, it was always a pleasure to be afforded an opportunity to be part of an exercise where an opportunity to represent them partially. It is one of the greatest things is being able to share, that personal space with people. I think that is one of the greatest things of being in public office, despite whatever challenges or whatever stories that people may hear. I think if people do this for the right reason and do it in a way to impact a person's life in the right way, I think there's also a great benefit for the person who is in the charge, and that is one of the things that I'm truly moved by. And when just going back to the shop, the small business owner that we went and helped, when we were packing up our tools about 11:30 at night, the owner let out a heavy sigh of relief, and it was just so comforting to know that, just that little bit of effort from us, just put such a great comfort for our family, and in terms of their recovery. I think that is one of the things that stands out to me, and that's one of the reasons why I continue to feel comfortable about wanting to represent Carriacou and to help just remove and erode this negative aura that is hanging over us, this attack, this level of disrespect, and this deep sense of unity and togetherness that we are accustomed to. I think that I do have the characteristic, and I do have the capacity to bring Carriacou back in that regard. And persons who know me, persons who Storm Super the other side, some of them are very good friends of mine. We share a personal relationship in that regard, and we have respect for each other. And so I think I am best positioned to do that, to lead Carriacou in that recovery space, to provide genuine opportunities to help persons recover with their homes, and just there's some key initiatives that I'm passionate about. Just mention a couple. I mean, one thing that is very dear to me is wanting to see that we have a facility to deal with special needs. We have so much families that are impacted by special needs in Carriacou and Pidimanic. I think that is one of the things that I'm passionate about and confident that we can address. And there is need for more support for elderly, for another senior citizens home to help support our person in the twilight time. That is one of the things. There is a great opportunity for business. We'll talk more about that going forward. I got some exciting plans for business development, and of course for our young people through educational development. And children, I mean, I stand convinced and convicted with strong conviction that education is universal key to eradicating poverty, and that is one of the things that is I'm strongly going to be pushing to see how we can get our opportunities for young persons through business and education. And so we do have some great plans. We do have some initiatives coming up, and you'll hear more about that. But I'm truly excited about an opportunity to not just lead, but to serve the people of Carriacou and Pidimanic honestly and genuinely. I think that is what I bring in comparison to what we have right now. So I'll just close on that, Sheldon.
Indeed. Thank you so very much, my brother, Nolan Cox. Let me put it proper. Senator the Honorable Nolan Sebastian Cox. I
You get me a lot of trouble.
Do enjoy the rest of your night, my brother, and we'll be speaking soon again.
It's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure, Sheldon. It's always a pleasure to be on.
All right. Thank you so very much. Yes, indeed, folks. We were speaking with Senator the Honorable Nolan Cox there. Quite a bit about Carriacou and Pidimanic. Because see, we cannot forget our brothers and sisters in Carriacou and Pidimanic. We just saw our brothers and sisters in Jamaica and what they're going through. Somebody let me know. Has the Grenadian government done any sort of drive or anything? Don't know. I know churches and different things might doing their own thing. I'm asking a specific question here, a question specific to the government of Grenada. Are they raising any funds? Are they attempting to assist the people of Jamaica who have just been through the worst, strongest hurricane in their history? Yeah? Is anything being done by the government? Because we know right now how the present Prime Minister has sent up 2 men to get rid of the government up there. You understand? Yeah, the same one that find herself in St. Vincent right now. Yeah, and the other one, Andy for Mandy or whoever does call him. Right, nice. He find himself over there too. And they went and said that how the Prime Minister sent them. Yeah, the Prime Minister sent them to get rid of Andrew Holness. But Andrew Holness is the Prime Minister right now. I really don't know how Deacon Mitchell out of Grenada is going to face Andrew Holness at any regional meeting. I don't know how they're going to face each other. Because it's not like the two guys went up there on their own and decided they're doing something. It is a situation where they said openly, our Prime Minister sent us here to get rid of your Prime Minister. Prime Minister in Grenada don't realize that what he has done is open the door for other people to get rid of him as Prime Minister. So I hope when he get what he look for, he could take it. Because things are looking too nice for him in that St. David seat. All you could preach all the brango all you want. All you could sing as much song as all you could play all you want to play. He ain't sitting comfortable in that St. David seat at all. I lived there long enough and I know enough people to know what's going on. He not sitting comfortable in that seat in St. David. So when what happen, can't say we didn't want all you folks. I think there's a good point in time for us to take that parang tune on here. Let you run the tune. We'll come back to the program just now.
Southside, they say you know pong side. Yes, we on the outside, and the what's it so Southside? They play in the backside. I got nothing to hide, cause in the backside. For that one already feeling shame. AJ William free to claim name. Jenny Simon said on Simon say, Cliff Project take a big bribery. 100,000 in the hand, 15,000 to fix the van. Some people said the man guilty, said he study in the constituency. Southside, they say he's no punk side. Yes, we on the outside, and they say it's that. But not me, what's it so Southside? They play in the backside. I got nothing to hide, cause in the backside. I want to go to university. I want to turn a F into a C. I want to improve my education. I want a cigarette just like Ran. And if you wondering how I will do this, I take in my phone, I call in the high priest. And in case you don't understand, the high priest correct name is Colin. Southside, they say it's no punk side. Yes, we on the outside, and they say it's that. But not me, what's it so Southside? They play in the backside. I got nothing to hide, cause in the backside. I hold my head and start to ball. I hear the UF band, then it's Canwall. Yes, I heard they take back the visa. He can't travel to the USA. Michael Batiste say, well, that man blind. That happened because of Rick Van Twine. Every time he pass by the distillery, smell the rum because in everybody. Southside, they say it's no punk side. Yes, we on the outside, and they say it's that. But not me, what's it so Southside? They play in the backside. I got nothing to hide, cause in the backside. Tevin is a total disaster. He told us we in lose Ultra. He said that he fix any proper. That's why he called police and teacher. Took 5 plane, went to Jamaica. Up there called the prime minister. But AJ add to the problem. Said is the commission was send them. Southside, they say it's no punk side. Yes, we on the outside, and they say it's that. But not me, what's it so Southside? They play in the backside. I got nothing to hide, cause in the backside. Donald made a request to Grenada. In Patalin to set up a radar. Duncan Mitchell could not take the pressure, so he went and hide up in Ghana. Well, up there he meet a guavana. Took the other day start squeezing finger. On Facebook I met a defender. Say that is the people's culture. Outside, they say it's no punk side. Yes, we on the outside, and they say it's that. But not me, what's it so Southside? They play in the backside. I got nothing to hide, cause in the backside. Southside, they say it's no punk side. Yes, we on the outside, and they say it's that. But not me, what's it so Southside? They play in the backside. I got nothing to hide, cause in the backside.
But not me that say that, but anyway, watch. We doesn't use that kind of language on this program. I care for that. We doesn't use that kind of language on this program. Next thing you know, it's just our children listening in between. And we does not use that kind of language on the program. Yes, indeed, folks. We're going to open the phone lines. 1473-440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. You know, I was listening the other day, and I heard the Prime Minister speaking about, the Prime Minister speaking about he traveling and them kind of thing. And if that you must see for that one,
Spelling concerns regarding the frequency of his international travel. These concerns have most recently been articulated by labour market statistician Dr. Justin Pear. While acknowledging that the Prime Minister is one of the most internationally active leaders in the Caribbean, Pear says there are serious economic and administrative consequences. Pear estimates that the Prime Minister has travelled 51 times since taking office. He also estimates that travel for the Prime Minister and his delegation has amounted to between EC $4.9 and $6.2 million. Addressing cost concerns, the Prime Minister said official travel is often funded by external entities.
Is not paid for by the government of Grenada. That's one of the policies over travel, that the travel has to be funded by the entities that are asking us to travel, except for organizations like Carriacou or the OECS or the UN, where obviously we are.
Then if those organizations are paying for the travel, it should be no problem to say to the Grenadian people who are the organizations and how much they have spent on the travel, because it doesn't just be the Prime Minister, it's some big delegation, the man carrying down the cameraman and all with him, you know. Yeah, you could have tell them people donate that money to a home in Grenada or something, man. Come on.
Part of the international global architecture that requires us to attend those events, then obviously we fund those travels. Other than that, the rest of the travel. So there's actually, in the majority of cases, no significant impact on the post.
According to the Prime Minister,
folks, we have to remember here as well that the bigger cost was not just the cost of the travel, which is estimated at close to 6 million, but the cost to the country of him being outside of the country and therefore decisions not being made, which are slowing down the production within the government service, because he don't know what's going on already. And when he's in Grenada to make the decision to ensure that something happens, people look left, they look right, he gone. Somebody else holding the office of Prime Minister, and that individual, except if there's Andy and could go and sign a contract and take, except if there's Andy, when these people holding these positions, they cannot make any decisions in relation to the portfolio in which they hold. In fact, I'll tell you that back in the days, I remember doing some parliamentary training, etc., and also some ministerial training. And one of the things that you were told in ministerial training is when you are holding on for another minister, whoever that minister is, from the Prime Minister to whatever minister, when you are holding the portfolio of that individual because said individual has traveled or whatever, at that point in time, you do not just go signing things and you don't go just making decisions, because sometimes what you may find is that people within the public service, they know that Minister A, due to whatever, will not sign something or will not do something, and so as soon as that minister is out and somebody else is in that position for a temporary period of time, they would bring something for you to sign that they know may not have otherwise been signed. And because you are the person holding the substantive portfolio, the signature is as good as gold. So you find these sort of things happening. Yeah? So that was part of the training that I remember going through as a minister. You do training as a parliamentarian, but you also do training as a minister. What should a minister do? What should a minister not do? Yeah? But it don't seem as these guys are any kind of training.
The survival of small island states hinges on their global...
So remember, you're speaking close to 200 million. Yeah, because over 100 and something million dollars, I remember, was the figure off the top of my head, in what Grenada is losing because the Prime Minister don't dare to do his work. The same man who's standing up in Parliament now and tell people, that guy there, who's standing up in Parliament now and telling people to come and do their work, when for a whole year out of 3 years, this guy has not been in the island. He gone. You're the Prime Minister for 3 years, and out of the 3 years, 1 whole year you have been gone. On average, every month you're gone for half the month. You're trying to operate Grenada on remote control. And you should be the last person to talk. The back of the line. In fact, you shouldn't even be at the back of the line. You should forget the line and just go far from it. The last person to talk about do your work should be this individual. Stand up in Parliament telling people about, come to the Parliament and do your work. So come to the Parliament and why he ain't speak to Ron Redhead and Tevin Andrews, who acting like puerile, infantile idiots in the Parliament of the country when people are making substantive points of an intellectual nature on issues of national importance. When Dr. Mitchell or Dr. Modest or Honorable Emlyn Pear, Honorable Kate Skeeter, Louis Peters is speaking, and they on the other side throwing water at them and telling them sit down and all kind of thing. Why he ain't tell them behave before he tell people why they don't come to Parliament? Why he ain't ensure? Because remember, for the bills to come to Parliament, let me let you know, for the bills to come to Parliament, they pass through Cabinet, So on his side, they are already familiar. They are already familiar with the documentation that is coming to Parliament. The other side is saying here, we need sufficient time to be able to go over this. For instance, a series of the bills dealt with aeronautical issues and things like aeronautical communication at the Point Saline International Airport and so on, which, strange enough, came to Parliament at a point in time that there's a request to use the airport. But you have this report coming to be debated in Parliament. It's obvious. Members on the other side would like to verify the information with experts in those areas. They would like to speak to aeronautical engineers and the people at the airport and different things like that to see if what is being done is a good thing. That is simply that, But they're refusing to give the documentation in a reasonable time so that sort of in-depth analysis can take place. They're trying to obfuscate the issues as much as possible so that no clear understanding of what they are attempting to do takes place. So give them the documents late. This was purposely done as far as I'm concerned. Let me repeat it again in case somebody in the back of the class saying here. This, as far as I'm concerned, was purposely done. They purposely gave the documents late. And they are the opposition stood up. The opposition leader stood up and said, listen, you all setting a date, but you all didn't discuss it with our side. There is a standing agreement. You heard it from Dr. the Honorable Clarice Modest. You heard it from her because she is the point person that usually the leader of government business would speak with her and they would say, okay, this is a good date. Let me check with my people. You check with your people and we see if everybody is okay on this day for the Parliament sitting. They refuse to do that. They just want to set Parliament sittings willy-nilly. So they set a date without even asking the members of the opposition, well, will you all be available? And then, to add insult to injury, they get manna disgusting on them to go and start attacking people. Like manna disgusting forget they had to come back Grenada one day. Manna disgusting and them forget that the day will come where there is no protection from the individuals who are protecting them right now. And they will, as God is above and around and all seen and all knowing, that the day will come when they will have to come back in Grenada, They might very well meet some envelopes waiting for them on the airport. But the day will come. So when they go saying nasty things about people and feel that they can hide in the anonymity of the internet and feel that people don't know who it is or can't find out who it is, let it stay there. There is a God above and around us and in us. Let Christ dwell within thee. So the time will come for people like them. And all who talking about what they go skin at, they better go and skin their own. Sorry to go down that road tonight, but some of them are asking for it. Go and skin their own. Because the day will come for them too. Because if they feel they can frighten anybody or they can scare anybody, and some of us will be afraid to continue doing what we are doing, exposing them for the incompetence, imbecile group of individuals that they are, it will not stop. Nothing they can do will stop it. Because these individuals care not for our country and only for themselves. They don't care about us. That is why this individual could be saying the things he's saying here.
Relationships, which he argued are cultivated during official visits.
And if we don't have friends, if we don't have supporters, if we don't have partners, small islands, the very existence of small islands is on the threat. From climate change, from the economic challenges that all of us face, from the cutting off of aid for many multilateral institutions, from the challenges to economic policies being pursued by larger countries, to the threat to regional and some international
So how much of the trips that he take dealt with the issues he talking about there? How much of the trips that the Prime Minister take, the 50-something trips that he take, how much of them have dealt with those things? Yeah? How much of them? And what are the results? What are the tangible results? The late Elvin G. Nimrod, when he went out, he come back. Sometimes they have the press conference, I tell you, on the airport. Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, he go out on a state visit, whatever, he comes back. He have the interview on the airport and he roll out the bag of goodies. We sign some multilateral, we get in this, we get in that, we get in the other. We get in how much houses, we get into stadium, we get in etc, etc, etc. He roll it out right there on the airport. You don't have to wait a month or 2 months down the road for them to have a special press conference or go into one of the NDC town hall that is having, calling it town hall meeting. Any self-respecting Grenadian not putting their foot in one of these town hall, so-called town hall meetings that they does have. Because these are nothing but NDC functions. Hence the reason some of them does go with their t-shirt. How much of his interaction has been on these issues and what have been the benefits to the people of Grenada?
In instances, international peace. So we need to focus on the issues that matter to our people and make sure people understand it and make sure that our survival depends on as many friends and as many partners as possible always being there to support us and help us come through difficult periods. So I will finally say this point. People don't invite you if they don't want you.
The Prime Minister added that travel should not be seen as a luxury, especially by the nation's youth. He hopes to inspire young Grenadians to be...
If you want to inspire young Grenadians, go Africa and then do your bucket listing on your own dime. Go and play Chifo Fufu on your own dime. Use your own money and go. Take vacation. Take a 2 weeks, you're going in Africa. Stop trying to use your position as Prime Minister of Grenada to fill your bucket list by going all these different countries and so on, because we, the Grenadian people, who can't get projects done because you out of the country, who can't get decisions made because you out of the country, who can't get information in relation to national crisis situations because you out of the country, we cannot benefit from you just going and take pictures in them place. And to prove that you're going and take pictures, you're carrying your cameraman. What benefit does that bring back to the Grenadian people? How does this benefit the child who has to go to school in the morning and the mother broke right now? She don't have a cent in she pocket. How does you go in and play Chief or Fufu benefit them?
Global citizens. The Prime Minister cited examples of support received from the international community to demonstrate the benefits of his travels.
Own experience with Hurricane Beryl, and thankfully the majority of the damage was concentrated to the north of the island and to our sister isles. If all 3 islands were devastated, we would have been in a lot more trouble. The people are going to help you. The people are going to come to your assistance. The people are going to help you survive these things are the people you build relationships with, the people you interact with. It's not going to happen.
Who he build relationships with, who he interact with. You send people to get rid of Andrew Holness, one of the biggest English-speaking, if not the biggest, biggest English-speaking country in the Caribbean region. You send 2 individuals to get rid of he. 2. And they say you send them. So if a hurricane hit again, you expect to get the assistance of Jamaica. Look, Jamaica get hit. You assisting them right now? Again, I ask the question, anybody know of any assistance that the government is leading for the people of Jamaica? Let me know. Yeah? Running around Pierre in St. Lucia, running around Skerrit in Dominica, and running around, what's his name, in St. Kitts. Dr. His name is slipping me right now. Running around these individuals. You think there was no long-standing relationship between the peoples of those countries and Grenada? You think it's only now that the people of St. Kitts know Grenada and Grenadians? You think it's now because of you? You say you're the biggest seller of Grenada. So you think it's now only because of you that people know of Grenada? How many of the African countries help? How many of the countries that you have visited are the ones that came to Grenada's rescue, or was it the main thing that were able to help the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique was the millions of dollars in CRIF money that was put in place by Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell and the new National Party team? Was it not that money that helped the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, even though all you misuse it, misspend it, and ensure that all you take care of all your people and not take care of everybody? Wasn't me that went on a platform and said the reason NNPites getting help and not the NDCites is because you don't know who your people is? Wasn't me that went on the platform and said that? Was you that went on the platform and said that? You that went and said that. So don't blame us. We are not the ones. It's you that went and said that. So don't try to give the impression that all the travel you're doing is what bring any money for Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Don't do that. Don't go down there. How much money come out of the Middle East? You like to go in Dubai. How much of the money came out of the Middle East and helped Carriacou and Petit Martinique? And the north part of the island. All the traveling you're traveling. How does it benefit the average Grenadian? You get photo opportunities, and in case they don't have a good enough photographer, you bring in your own that Grenadians have to pay for, and use your phone and take out 2 pictures. But Grenadians have to pay for it. And then you have to bring personal secretary and things. Just now you go want an Air Force Nutmeg Force or whatever. You ain't want an Air Force One. You want a Nutmeg Force One. Because remember he was talking about a plane earlier up in the thing too, eh? Yeah, because he wants to travel in style. That is why he was using the RSS plane like a bus, running Grenades. Every time he wanted to go somewhere, when he was the head of Carriacou, was using the RSS plane like if it's a minibus. Everywhere he want to go. When that plane should have been out there finding drugs and people missing in the water and all kind of thing, the Prime Minister of Grenada jump in the plane to go and visit other place. These are the people that are in charge of our country at this point in time. Let me move him there. Time to move him. Let me move him there. Yeah, time to move him there. Move that. Yeah. That is the nonsense. What have we benefited from?
Sitting in a small island here. That is part of the reason why you have to travel. That is part of the reason why you have to go and build relationships. On Thursday, I'll be distributing 1,000 cricket kits to our sporting clubs.
Yeah, that's what we get for over here. So those kits have cost us close to $200 million for 1,000 kits, because what else he come back with?
That is part of the reason why you have to travel. That is part of the reason why you have to go and build relationships. On Thursday, I'll be distributing 1,000 cricket kits in a small island here. That is part of the reason why you have to travel. That is part of the reason why you have to go and build relationships. On Thursday, I'll be distributing 1,000 cricket kits.
Yes, I know the time I talk.
To our sporting club.
Yeah. So you got 1,000 cricket kits, but it cost the Grenadian taxpayer close to $200 million for them cricket kits. Listen, some of us would have put together and buy the cricket kits if we didn't know. If we didn't know. Even if we forget the amount of money due to time wasting, you not being in the country and so on, and we just look at the $6 million figure and say that $6 million is what those cricket kits cost. Because what else do you have to show for the Grenadian people? I can't see a single road and point it and say that is when Deacon Mitchell went to this country. He get the funding to do that particular road. It's still them road and them fixing is still from the trips of people like the late Elvin Nimrod, who has gone to the great beyond so many years, and road still billing from the work that he do. Road still billing from the works of the new National Party in office. When people like Mr. Gregory Bowen travel, when people like Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell travel, and when you hear they come back and they hold a press conference and they say we've secured a loan of $10 million for how much miles of road. These people measure in road in feet. And it's still off of the period from the new National Party. What was left back. They can't come and tell you that we've gone to Saudi Arabia and we've secured farm roads. We're going to be doing 20 miles, 30 miles of farm roads. They can't come and tell you them thing. You know why? They're incompetent and they only think and care about themselves. time for them to go. Time for them to do the honorable thing and go. We fed up. Pack up your things and go. Yeah? Folks, remember to check the voters list. Make sure your name is on the voters list. Make sure your friends, your family, everybody that you know is supportive of the new National Party. We ain't care about the other side. We're checking for we. Make sure their name is on the voters list first. Then you're looking for them people and them who you don't know on the list that not supposed to be in your area. Yes, you have to look for them too. You can't put a face to the name. You have to report them because you don't want 200, 300 people suddenly appear in your constituency and are able to vote on election day because their name is still on the voters list when election is called, and these people end up being the people that hand the seat back to this incompetent group of individuals that we have running. In fact, I inside they're ruining our country at this point in time. We cannot play games with this. We cannot continue to be talking about checking the voters list and we ain't checking it. Everybody who's listening to this program should have checked that list already. Yeah, do like Santa Claus before you leave. Make a list and check it twice. He's making a list. He's checking it twice to find out who's naughty or nice. Yeah. So make sure that you check in your voters list. Make sure that you are paying attention to what is going on in your communities and make sure this being the 11th month of the year 2025, as we get down to the end of 2025 and we also get down to the end of the reign of this NDC administration, that you find and convince 11 new people. Some of you listening to me, there's serious business. There ain't no joke thing here, If we have 1,000 people listening to the program tonight and 1,000 of us go out and we find 11 people, that is 11,000 new people who did not vote for the new National Party before to vote for the new National Party again. Even if we each ain't find the 11, we might find 5,000 new people or 8,000 new people, and we would have done it. The time is now, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month. We have to do it now. Every one of us has a responsibility. Whether you are in Grenada or outside of Grenada, we all have the same responsibility. Find 11 new people to support and vote for the new National Party. It could be young people. It could be elder people who just didn't decide they were sitting this one out, they wasn't going to vote again. It could be elder people who decide, well, I never vote since I vote for Uncle Gary, and they come in. You have other people who may have been supporters of the NDC but see the incompetence of this imbecile group and decide that they will support the new National Party. And you have to make sure that you keep in contact with them people. Put them in a little notebook. Don't put them on phone and thing. That does lose and all kind of thing. Write them down. Put their number next to their name and keep in contact with them. And make sure that they also become listeners to Talking Points. Folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you. In everything you say and do, do it safe and secure. Want to be speaking to and with you, and definitely not about you. Love each and every one of you. I am out.
Southside, they say you know pong side. Yes, we on the outside, and they say it's that. But not me what say so Southside. They play in the backside. I got nothing to hide, cause in the backside. For that one already feeling shame. AJ William free to claim name. Jenny Simon said on Simon say Cliff Project take a big bribery. 100,000 in the hand, 15,000 to fix the van. Some people said the man guilty, said he study in the constituency. Southside, they say you know pong side. Yes, we on the outside, and they say it's that. what say so south side. They play in the backside. I got nothing to hide, cause in the backside. I hold my head and start to ball. I hear the UF band, then it's Canwall. Yes, I heard it take back it easy. He can't travel to the USA. Michael Batiste say, well, that man blind. That happened because of freak one twine. Every time he pass by the distillery, smelly rum because in everybody. Outside, they say it's no punk side. Yes, we on the outside, and they say it's that. But not me what say so south side. They play in the backside. I got nothing to hide, cause in the backside. Tevin is a total disaster. He told us win, lose or draw. He said that he fix and he proper. That's why he called police and teacher. Took 5 plane, went to Jamaica. Up there called the prime minister. But AJ add to the problem. Said is the commission was send them outside. They say it's no punk side. Yes, we on the outside, and they say it's that. But not me what say so south side. They play in the backside. I got nothing to hide, cause in the backside. Donald made a request to Grenada. In Pantalin to set up a radar. Donkey Mitchell could not take the pressure, so he went and hide up in Ghana. Well, up there he met a guavana. Took the other day start squeezing finger. On Facebook I met a defender, saying that is the people's culture. Outside, they say it's no punk side. Yes, we on the outside, and they say it's that. But not me what say so south side. They play in the backside. I got nothing to hide, cause in the backside. South side, they say it's no punk side. Yes, we on the outside, and they say it's that. But not me what say so south side.